There is a specific sound that haunts your 20s and 30s. It isn't a scream. It isn't a siren. It's a ticking. It's the sound of running out of time. We live in an era where we are constantly told that life is a race. We scroll through feeds of people buying houses, getting promoted and traveling the world, and we feel a sinking sensation in our chest. We feel like we are losing a race we didn't even know we entered. If you feel paralyzed by the fear that you're falling behind or that you're a fraud waiting to be exposed, this video is for you. I want to tell you a story about a place called the Museum of Unfinished Things. Imagine a traveler who has spent his whole life trying to be perfect. He walks through the rain, burdened by all the things he hasn't achieved yet. One day, trying to escape the storm, he steps into an abandoned building. The sign on the door is faded. It reads, "The Museum of Unfinished Things." Inside, there are no masterpieces. There are no finished products. The shelves are lined with inventions that were never patented. The walls are hung with paintings that have no colors. The library is filled with books that end after the third chapter. The traveler looks at these things with sadness. He thinks, look at all this failure. Look at all this wasted potential. These people must have been lazy. They gave up. But then a voice echoes through the hall. You misunderstand, the voice says. These aren't failures because they stopped. These are failures because they never let themselves be bad enough to finish. Let's pause the story. That museum is inside your head. The biggest obstacle young adults face today isn't a lack of talent. It is the paralysis of perfection. We look at the finished product of other people's lives. We see the promotion, the engagement ring, the viral post. We never see the museum of unfinished things they had to build first. We are terrified of the messy middle. This is where imposter syndrome comes from. You feel like a fraud because you know your internal struggle, but you only see everyone else's external highlight reel. But here's the truth. Imposter syndrome is just a growing pain. If you don't feel like an imposter, it means you aren't stretching yourself. It means you are staying safe. Back in the museum, the traveler picks up a small, rough gear from a table. It's ugly, it's rusted, it doesn't fit anywhere, but it is heavy. It is real. The voice speaks again. The people who made these things, they waited until they were ready. They waited for the perfect time. And since the perfect time doesn't exist, they waited forever. The traveler realizes that a rough, ugly, unfinished gear is infinitely better than the perfect machine that only exists in his imagination. He realized that running out of time is a lie. You cannot run out of time on your own life. You can only waste it by waiting to be perfect. Mozart died at 35. Colonel Sanders didn't start his franchise until 62. Vera Wang entered the fashion industry at 40. Everyone is in their own time zone. If you are listening to this and you feel that tightness in your chest, that panic that you aren't where you're supposed to be, take a deep breath. You cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself you love. Don't build a museum of unfinished things. Be brave enough to make something bad. Be brave enough to ask the stupid question. Be brave enough to submit the application you don't think you're qualified for. The only way to stop feeling like an imposter is to realize that everyone, absolutely everyone, is making it up as they go along. You haven't run out of time. You've just begun.